Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Moon in the fourth for the sign of Aries. That is for the ascendant sign of Aries. That is the topic what I am covering today. The fourth house or the fourth sign from Aries, if I take the midpoint as the ascendant in Aries, falls in the midpoint of Cancer, Karkataka Rashi. We have different nakshatras there. Punarvasu nakshatra, which is ruled by Jupiter, its fourth pada, that is the fourth quarter. Then we have Pushya 1, 2, 3, 4, which is ruled by Saturn. Then we have Ashlesha nakshatra, which is ruled by Mercury. All the four. Ashlesha 1, 2, 3, 4. Moon in its own sign, because it rules the sign of Cancer, is considered to be one of the best placements for Moon. Moon is also the Karaka for the fourth house because it represents mother, Matrusthana. Matrusthana, Karaka, Matrusthana Adipati. When it is sitting in the Matrusthana, then we call this as Karako Bhavanashaya. There will be some health problem to the mother which will be of minor but chronic in nature. So, a minor health problem which will prolong for a number of years is seen because of this position of Moon in the fourth from the sign of Aries. So, it's the only position for this only Lagna that Moon will be in its own sign and also it will be the fourth house. So, let us go through the details. We have made some points here. So, let us go through the details. This is the best position and Moon gets enhanced. Okay, it gives bigger and better results, provided that it is not debilitated in the Navamsha. So, when does Moon get debilitated in Navamsha? It gets debilitated when it is posited in the sign of Scorpio. So, the particular nakshatra amsha which falls in the sign of Scorpio is Pushya 4. So, Punarvasu 3, it falls in Karkataka Rashi itself, that is in Cancer. Sorry, Punarvasu 4, not Punarvasu 3. Punarvasu 4 will fall in Karkataka Rashi. Then starts Pushya 1, 2, 3, which fall in Leo, Virgo, and Libra. The fourth quarter of Pushya falls in Scorpio. So, if Moon is placed in the Pushya 4, it is considered very good for the placement in the D1 chart because it's in the center. But it gets debilitated in the Navamsha, so there will be difficulties in married life. There will be difficulties because Moon loses strength. You know, the strength of a planet, first in the starting, for basics, we need to see it from the Rashi Kundali, the Bhava Kundali, Navamsha Kundali, and other divisional charts also. At least the first Shad Vargas, 6 Vargas. So, at least from the D1 and the D9, if the planet is well posited, we tell that on superficially. I am not telling that is the method. That is the first easy method for basics, that the planet is strong. So here, Moon becomes weak when it is posited in Pushya 4. So the relationship with mother might get troubled. So what actually happens here is the native himself or herself will be so fast in learning things that they will start competing with mother. They will be so fast, they will be very good. So that particular space which is taken away in the family, the mother will not like it. So there will be a little bit of competition. So this competition is because of the comparative thing what happens between a child and the mother. Usually this doesn't happen at all. But in Mesha Rashi, for Mesha Lagna, when you have the fourth house as Moon, the native himself or herself will have those values like a mother, will have those values in which caring, affection, having good conversation in the family, these things can happen. This is a beautiful position. So, when the when moon placed in Punarvasu nakshatra, it is called as Vargottama. Why? When you go to the Navamsha, you can see that moon is still placed in the same sign in the Karkataka Rashi. So moon becomes extremely wise, a moon which is having patience, which is usually lacking with moon, because moon is a fast moving planet which represents the mind, and it is usually, most of the times fickle mindedness to the native. It gives fickle mindedness to the native. But moon in Punarvasu Nakshatra, fourth pada, that is the first Navamsha of the Karkataka Rashi, will give good balance and good thinking ability to the native. Pushya Nakshatra, on the other hand, will give a lot of practical knowledge. Also, it gives fear. Why? It is because Saturn rules that particular nakshatra. And why is it not that compatible with Saturn? It is because from Karkataka Rashi, the Saturn's sign falls in the 7th and the 8th house, where both are not good. One is the Triksthana, that is the 8th house. The other one is an inimical house. The house opposition. So, because of the opposition and being a Triksthana Adipati, that is 6th, 8th, and 12th houses are called Triksthana. I am talking from the perspective of Pushya Nakshatra. That is where it is sitting in Karkataka Rashi. From there you draw a line, the 180th 80 degree will fall, that is the 7th house, will fall in Capricorn. And if you take the 210th degree, that is the 8th house, midpoint, it falls in, the end of the 8th house, 210, will fall in the sign of Aquarius. Both these signs are ruled by Saturn. That is, the 7th house and the 8th house from Pushya Nakshatra is ruled by Saturn, and hence Pushya Nakshatra does not get the strength of Saturn. This is how you have to analyze stellar astrology, but I will not go into that in detail. Moon placed in Pushya Nakshatra will give the native a lot of hardships. He has to work, lot of workload, heavy hours, heavy workload and long hours, tiresome. He will feel boredom, but an obligation will make him do the work. So most of the people who are in Pushya Nakshatra will always be telling you this sentence, that they are not satisfied with the job, but they cannot leave this job because there are a lot of financial obligations. So Ashlesha Nakshatra, which is actually the nakshatra which is owned by Mercury, is in the last part of the sign of Cancer. And this nakshatra falls, the Navamsha of this nakshatra falls from Sagittarius. It starts from Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So you can once again see here that Sagittarius is the 6th from Karkataka Rashi, that is Cancer. And you can see that the 7th house Capricorn is an opposition, the 8th house is a Triksthana, that is Aquarius, and Pisces is the only placement in Ashlesha Nakshatra which is good. But here once again it gets into the Rashi Ganda. That means when moon goes to Ashlesha Nakshatra 4th pada, it is now getting into the Rashi Ganda, that is a place where the Rashi and the Nakshatra both complete. That is, a new Rashi and a new Nakshatra, Makha Nakshatra, Simha Rashi will start after that. So the first pada of Makha Nakshatra and the last pada of Ashlesha Nakshatra are called to be Rashi Ganda, Gandantara Rashi. So, though Pisces is a good placement for moon in the Navamsha, I'm just giving a little detailed explanation here today. I don't know why. But so this placement of Rashi Ganda of moon will not allow it to freely work. So that means the native's mother might go through hospitalization or any disease which will not be good to her. That is, we can see pain due to illness. Okay, so the fourth house, it's a beautiful thing for the native himself. I was just talking about mother. Now because it's the main Karaka. Fourth house means Vahana. Fourth house means residence. Vahana means vehicles, residence, luxuries, good places, all these places where the person will go and stay. This is what is seen by the fourth house. They will have good water source. That means there are many people who keep telling that we dig a well, we don't get water. We go through, do the bore wells, go deep, but we still don't get water. But these people having the fourth house moon, particularly in the nakshatra of Pushya, and that is when it is in Pushya 4, it gives lot of water. Why? Because it falls into another Navamsha, which is also a watery sign. So, a watery planet owning a watery house, falling into a watery sign into the Navamsha gives you a lot of water. So, good water, like near water bodies, like near lakes, ponds, and places where there is good rainfall, wherever he goes, that's how the fate will pull him into a pattern. Except that there might be a very strong negative dasha or the planetary dasha bhukti, that's the planetary period, which might give adverse results, but it's very rare. So they will live very close to good, beautiful water bodies, and they will have happy and good residence, and voyages over sea is seen in this particular placement. That's what is written here in the points. Beautiful house, comfortable, happy, content life, attached to the family and family members. This is what I told. When the person starts taking over the relationship management, which actually the mother does in the family, there will be a lot of competition. So very emotional if afflicted, and lot of mood swings, depression, obsession, possessiveness, all negatives, lung infections, breathing problems, detached from the family. These are all when it is afflicted. So, what is affliction? When it is sitting along with an uncomfortable Saturn, a retro Mercury, which is the 12th from the 4th, and the Lord of the 12th from the 4th. So, many things you need to see when you are seeing this. So, and problems of the heart, palpitation when it is with Mercury, like holes if it is there is Ketu, problems of spasmatic difficulty of the muscles if it is Saturn, valve problems if it is so many planets are involved here. So let me not go into those details, but still, if it is negatively afflicted in the fourth house, a lot of uh, different types of varieties of problems the native will encounter. So I am not giving you remedial measures here. I am just giving you a prediction because it will become a very big class. So, mother will be beautiful, young looking, because you have the fourth house moon, and she will be agile and fast and active. But the native, on the other hand, will be slow, lethargic, happy, comfortable, leisure loving person, would always want to spend a good time for himself or herself, enjoying life. So this is a position which gives a lot of comfort, happy living, and good life to the native, whereas the family members, like particularly like mother or the family itself, might go through some difficulties because of affliction of the moon. So I think this is enough for today. And yeah, there is one more thing which is very important here. that moon represents phlegm, kapha. So, kapha pravrutti. So, the phlegm in the lower part of the lungs, very dangerous it is. It can happen. So, people who are having fourth house moon with Aries ascendant, pranayama, that is breathing exercises, are the must. They have to be done. It is a must, not are the must, it is the must. It has to be done on a daily basis, at least 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. As a remedial measure, it will help you. So, thank you very much for today's class.